The people we surround ourselves with don't just influence us, they slowly become part of us. Their attitudes, their way of speaking, their standards, their behavior, even the things they consider normal, begin to shape our own. And this is why choosing friends is not a superficial decision. It is a decision about the kind of life, mind, character, and faith we are building. Yet, so many adults are surprisingly poor at recognizing unhealthy friendships. We can recognize obvious cruelty, we can recognize betrayal, but what about the friend who is never openly terrible, yet somehow leaves you anxious after every conversation? The friend who constantly drains you, subtly competes with you, keeps you emotionally unsettled, and slowly pulls you away from the person you want to be. Not every unhealthy friendship looks toxic. Sometimes it simply doesn't feel good to your mind, your values, your character, your faith, or your life anymore. So, how do you know which friendships are worth keeping and which ones you need to create distance from? Number one, notice how your body feels around them and not just how much you enjoy them. Sometimes we confuse familiarity, excitement, or intensity with a healthy connection. But pay attention to what happens inside you before, during, and after seeing someone. Do you feel relaxed? Can you be yourself, or do you become a tense, guarded, hyper aware, or exhausted version of yourself? You don't need a dramatic incident to take your discomfort seriously. Number two, notice whether you can disagree without feeling punished. Healthy friendship has room for difference. You should be able to say, I don't agree with you, without being mocked, frozen out, insulted, or made to feel disloyal. If disagreement consistently costs you the relationship, you're not experiencing closeness, you're experiencing compliance. Number three, ask whether you are allowed to have boundaries without having to defend them. A healthy friend doesn't need a detailed explanation every time you say no. You can be unavailable, you can decline an invitation, you can protect your time, you can choose not to discuss something. If every boundary becomes an argument, a guilt trip, or an accusation that you've changed, pay attention. Number four, look at whether they celebrate you or quietly compete with you. Not everyone who smiles at your success is happy for you. Notice the friend who changes the subject when something good happens to you, immediately tells you something better they have done, minimizes your achievement, or seems more comfortable when you're struggling. Friendship should not require you to dim yourself so someone else can feel comfortable. Number five, pay attention to how much of yourself you have to edit. Do you constantly calculate what you can say? Do you avoid certain topics because you know how they will react? Do you monitor your tone, your success, your opinions, your choices? If you have to continually make yourself smaller to maintain a friendship, ask yourself what exactly you're preserving. Number six, notice whether the relationship is reciprocal or whether you are being used for emotional labor. Some friendships are built around one person talking, venting, needing, demanding, and receiving. You are the therapist, the rescuer, the problem solver, the one who remembers birthdays, checks in, listens for hours, shows up, and carries the emotional weight. And when you need something, they're suddenly unavailable. Friendship should have reciprocity. It doesn't have to be perfectly equal every day, but over time, there should be room for both people. Number seven, watch what happens when you are vulnerable. The way someone handles your vulnerability tells you a great deal about their character. Do they protect what you've shared? Do they listen without turning it into gossip? Do they use your weaknesses against you later? A person who collects your vulnerabilities and eventually weaponizes them isn't a safe person to be close to. Number 8. Notice whether they make you question your own reality. This one is particularly important. If you repeatedly leave conversations thinking, maybe I'm too sensitive, maybe I imagined it, maybe I'm the problem, maybe I shouldn't have said anything, stop and examine the pattern. Healthy friends can tell you when you're wrong without making you feel psychologically unsafe. You should be able to have a conversation and still trust your own perception afterward. Number 9, pay attention to integrity. This is one of the things I think we underestimate when choosing friends. Look at how someone behaves when nobody is watching. Do they keep their word? Do they take responsibility? Do they lie easily? Do they manipulate? Do they betray people's trusts? Do they act according to their values or only when it benefits them? Because if you surround yourself with someone who has no integrity, who is impulsive, reckless, constantly creating chaos, or repeatedly making choices that compromise their own values, eventually that chaos can become part of your life too. You don't have to judge them. You don't have to expose them. You don't have to think you're better than them. But you do need to be honest about whether you want that behavior this close to you. Number 10, watch how they respond when someone disrespects you, especially someone from their own family. This is a massive red flag. A friend can sit quietly while a family member disrespects you without immediately standing up for you or making it clear that the behavior is unacceptable. Pay attention to this. And I'm not talking about creating drama or demanding that someone fight with their family for you. I'm talking about basic loyalty and boundaries. If someone is comfortable watching you be humiliated, insulted, belittled, or disrespected and simply sits there as though nothing happened, that tells you something. If it has happened once, don't assume it can never happen again. A person who cannot establish a basic boundary around disrespect will often allow that disrespect to become a pattern. You don't need to be someone's priority over their family, but you should be able to expect basic respect, and you should notice whether your friend is willing to protect that respect. Number 11, pay attention to their relationship with Allah. And this is particularly important. We should not sit in judgment of people's faith. We don't know what is in someone's heart, what they are struggling with, or what their relationship with Allah looks like behind closed doors. We should cover people's flaws, make dua for them, and never use someone's shortcomings as an opportunity to feel superior. But choosing your close circle is different from judging someone. You need people around you who help you maintain your relationship with Allah and encourage you to become better. Not people who consistently make obedience harder, make you careless about your obligations, or normalize things you are trying to leave behind. Ideally, your closest friends should be at a similar spiritual and religious level, not because you are better than anyone else, but because your environment matters. If you are trying to pray consistently, become more conscious of Allah, improve your character, protect yourself from things that harm your faith, and live according to your values, then your closest circle should support that journey. And as for those who are not there yet, make dua for them, be kind to them, cover their flaws. But you don't have to make everyone your inner circle. Number 12. Pay attention to the version of yourself that comes out around them. This may be one of the most important questions of all. Who am I when I'm with this person? Are you kinder, more generous, more courageous, more grounded, more conscious of Allah? Or are you gossiping more, judging more, complaining more, lying more, becoming resentful, insecure, competitive, cynical, or careless about things you once cared about? Sometimes the problem isn't simply that a friend is bad for you, it's that the friendship is bringing out a version of you that you don't want to become. Number 13, notice whether the friendship requires constant emotional management. Some people make you responsible for their moods. You have to keep them happy, you have to prevent their jealousy, you have to reassure them constantly, you have to explain yourself so they don't become angry, you have to carefully navigate their reactions. That isn't peace. A friendship that requires you to constantly regulate another adult's emotions will eventually dysregulate your entire life. Number 14, look at how they behave when they have nothing to gain from you. This is where many friendships reveal themselves. Are they kind when you cannot help them? Do they still check in when you aren't useful? Are they interested in you when you have nothing to offer? Some people don't miss you, they miss what access to you provides. Learn the difference. Number 15, ask the question we often avoid. Is this friendship good for my life and my character and my faith? How long have I known them? Not what will people think if we weren't friends anymore. Not, but they were there for me once. Ask yourself, is there respect here? Is there integrity? Is there peace? Is there reciprocity? Can I be myself? Does this person bring me closer to the person I want to become? Do they help me protect my values? Do I feel safe? Do I feel closer to Allah or increasingly careless about Him? Because sometimes a friendship doesn't need to end because someone is a terrible person. Sometimes you simply have to recognize that the relationship is not healthy for you anymore, and that is enough. We need to stop waiting for friendships to become catastrophic before we give ourselves permission to step back. You don't have to prove that someone is toxic before you're allowed to create distance. You don't have to expose their flaws. You don't have to hate someone to realize they don't belong in your inner circle anymore. Some people are meant to be acquaintances. Some are meant to be friends. Some are meant to be close friends. And some people may have been important to you once, but no longer belong in the life you're building now. And there is nothing cruel about understanding that. The goal isn't to have fewer people. The goal is to have better people around you. People who bring peace rather than constant anxiety. People with integrity. People who respect boundaries. People who can celebrate you without competing with you. People who can tell you the truth without humiliating you. People who will not sit silently while you are being disrespected. People who help you become better, and people whose relationship with Allah reminds you of your own, not because you are judging them, but because you are protecting your own heart and your own journey. We can love people, pray for them, cover their flaws, and still be discerning about who we allow into our closest circle. Because friendship should add to your life, not constantly disturb your peace. And ultimately, choosing your friends is choosing your environment. Choose people around whom your mind can rest, your character can grow, your faith can strengthen, your boundaries can exist, and your best self has room to breathe. Because the people you surround yourself with are eventually the people you become.